Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghost Media's Spoopy Talk with Madison Smith from Madison Paranormal. You can find Spoopy Talk every other Sunday, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, right here, live on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to join in the live interactive chat by going to Spreaker.com or downloading the Spreaker app for all devices.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
And here's your host, Madison Smith.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison Smith. I'd like to welcome you on to Spoopy Talk with Maddie. Tonight's guest is someone I follow on Facebook, and she has her own show called WTFRick, I think. I might have slaughtered that. But let's give a giant Spoopy Talk welcome to Emily Menshouse.
Hey Maddie, thank you. No, you did not slaughter that or mess it up. It's WTFRick, What the Frick, live. So yeah, that's my show.
Love that. Honestly, love that.
Well, I've debated on possibly changing it, but everybody was like, "No, you got to keep it. You got to keep it."
Yeah, you got to keep that. That's gold.
Yeah. It came from. I have paranormal teams, but my best friend and I, they would call us Frick and Frack. So I had a little spin-off called Frick and Frack Paranormal. So it started out as Frick and Frack Fridays, and we just did it for fun, just to interview people and have them come on. And it was more of a laid-back show, which still is a laid-back show on Friday nights. But then it just morphed into WTFRick, What the Frick Live after that. So, and it's been going on for almost 4 years. So she bowed out though. She bowed out. About 6 months into it, she couldn't. Her job switched and everything. So I just kept going with it. But no, you did not slaughter the name. You did a really great job. Thank you.
I love that. Freaking Frack. I love that.
Frick and Frack. And that's what they would call us. You don't know Frack unless you know Frick, and they would just say all kinds of stuff. So,
literally,
yeah.
What in the freaking Fraggle Rock is this? I always say that
too.
I say the dumbest stuff.
You know Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, I still have the DVDs. I think
I have them too.
I remember watching it like all the time as a kid.
I did too. I love it. It's one of my favorite. How's the song go? Should we sing? Can we sing? I'm just kidding. Wipe your cares away. No worries for another day. Let the music play down at Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, I was going to be like, I know that like the beat hits hard. I'm sorry. Like, like it's good. Mm-hmm. But I had to remember how it goes. I'm like, last time I saw it was like 8 years ago. How am I supposed to know this?
Well, you probably, but my son, he's 11, so we've gone through those DVDs and stuff like crazy with him growing up. So it's probably been a good 2 years maybe since I've watched the last Fraggle Rock episode. But
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, I used to watch Fraggle Rock, PBS Kids, Backyardigans. That was my big thing. And then Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo was my jam, and I loved it.
I still love Scooby-Doo. I like the movies, too, so funny. The first paranormal cartoon, I'd say. Do they have any other paranormal cartoons? Is there any other?
Well, then there's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The cartoon version of Ghostbusters. There's 2 or 3. So there's the real Ghostbusters. Then there's the Extreme Ghostbusters, and then there's the real Ghostbusters and Slimer in the real Ghostbusters.
I don't remember those.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
They're old. I have the full set up in my office. All 7 seasons.
Well, I saw your Ghostbusters ectoplasma car behind you in your what is that? A cabinet? Yeah.
This is my Ghostbuster cabinet, and then there's a lot more.
Yeah.
No, like, kid you not. A friend came over to a sleepover, right?
Uh-huh.
She's never seen my office. She walked in, she went, Maddie, you told me you liked Ghostbusters, not have an addiction to it. And I was like, whoa, calm down, man. It's fine. She's like,
it's funny.
You like Ghostbusters. You never said that you were obsessed with it, Maddie. I'm like, not hurting anyone.
I'm obsessed with the new trailer. Isn't it coming out this summer? The new Ghostbusters?
Already have the car.
What is it?
The car. Ooh, there it is. I already have the car.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited for that. I can't wait to take my son for it. So,
me just trying to open up a door. Why do they make the door so? Oh. Okay, there. Now, like, there's a little shooter seat that pops out.
Hold on, I gotta turn my cameras back on. I had them turned off.
There's a little shooter seat.
Oh, I see it.
So it pops out and goes back in, man. Cool.
Well,
this is kind of wish that this show had cameras to where people could just see me being like, so this is my new car.
That's what you need. Are you 16?
Do I look 16?
I don't know. I was thinking 15-ish, 14, 15, maybe 16.
13.
You're 13? I need
an 8. Makes you feel better.
Wow. Okay. Well, I know what kind of car you need to get for your 16th birthday.
I know. A Ghostbuster car.
Yeah.
I need it first.
Yes, you do. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, when is your birthday?
April 24th.
Okay, so that's coming up. So happy birthday.
Thanks. No, like, if I do get a car of my choice, I'm going to get a white Jeep, and I'm going to deck that thing out. It's going to be Ecto 24, baby. Like, there's Ecto 1, 2, 3, and then, what else do they have? They have the car, they have the helicopter, they also have an Ecto 4 in the cartoon, I know that. They have 4 or 5 different cars for, like, no reason. Literally.
Just to have them. That's it. That's all they need. They have backup plans and everything.
Like, they used a helicopter in more than one episode, I think. But Ecto 1 was the main attraction.
Right. I have a friend that's built a replica. He lives down in Florida. He used to live up here in Ohio. And then he moved down there, but he has a replica of that. And actually he has a replica of the Scooby-Doo van, too. Yeah. I did get to ride in the Ecto one time. That was probably back before he moved, back in 2015 or so. Yeah, he moved down to Florida, so I don't get to see that car. It would frequent the highways here in Kentucky and Ohio, and pictures of it would be up all over the internet or Facebook at that time, but I don't see it so much anymore, I guess, because he's down in the southern states.
Mm. Yeah, like, I see the weirdest stuff on the interstate. I'm sorry. Like, I've seen tanks on the interstate. I've seen Ecto 1 on the interstate, for all I care. I've seen the Winchester car.
That's crazy.
Scooby-Doo van. And then, pretty sure that there was a Back to the Future, like that car.
Oh,
just
yeah.
driving down, just going, and I'm just like, might as well check that off my list.
Well, in
What are we
Kentucky,
looking for next?
I've seen a recliner in the bed of a truck with somebody sitting in it going down the highway.
Literally.
In Kentucky, so
Yeah.
nothing surprises me anymore here in the Bluegrass State. So
Yeah. What we see on the interstate stays on the interstate. You know?
that should be a t-shirt.
Like, there's some crazy stuff that goes on. All right.
I wonder what these state troopers and stuff, they got some good stories. Maybe we should have State Trooper Month highway stories. You know, they probably saw a lot of paranormal stuff too, and Sasquatch and all kinds of stuff.
You honestly have a point, though. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, having one. So what have you seen on the highway? Well, I've seen a truck, like, with a tarp in it. Like, it was just made into a pool. And people were just chilling back there, you know?
Let it sit out in the sun all day and it'd be a hot tub.
Honestly, though.
You know, I always say state troopers, police officers, emergency workers, and pastors have the best stories ever.
Literally. Because they see some weird stuff.
They hear some weird stuff, too.
Like,
And truck drivers could be fit in there.
Oh my god, yes, honestly. Like, they go everywhere. Plus, they're constantly, like, on the interstate.
Yeah.
So they'll probably be seeing a lot of stuff.
I'd like to know about the UFO uptake that's happening out in the West at this point, because I keep hearing all these sightings and stuff on these highways out in Arizona and things. I'm sure these truck drivers have seen several up in the skies.
Tell me more about this. I had no idea about what you're talking about, but I would like to hear.
Only thing I know is it's just been popping up on. I have a LinkedIn account, and I used to be in trucking. I used to be a vice president of operations for a crude oil hauling company. So I have a lot of truck driver friends and people in that industry on my LinkedIn. And so there's been just a lot of articles and things been popping up here in the last couple weeks on there about UFO sightings and things that's happened out in Arizona, Nevada, even up towards the mountain regions of South and North Dakota, that these articles just keep popping up. I haven't read a lot about it or anything. I just know that I've seen several articles now that makes me interested in. Probably I do need to read some more about it, but and probably just the last month, really. So it's springtime. I think all the weird stuff happens in the springtime. It's like a new season. Things are starting to bloom again, and it's like everybody's breaking free, even the aliens.
Well, that's why I was born in spring.
That's it. You broke free, Maddie. I was born almost in spring. I was March the 13th, but I was a Friday the 13th. And
yes.
In March, so a week before spring. So, but yeah, I think springtime, a lot of stuff, craziness happens, and I don't know what happens up in the atmosphere with the skies and the stars and all that, but I just think, plus we have a full moon this past week, and I know I couldn't sleep for 2 days almost. That full moon affects me. Like, it really does. I always, with the nights I can't sleep, I'm like, is it a full moon? And most likely it's a full moon. And so I don't know. I haven't got on LinkedIn that much today to see if there's been any other. It'd be interesting to see if there's been alien sightings this weekend with the full moon in springtime.
Yeah, like for me, I just can't sleep in general. So, pretty fun.
Well, last 2 nights I was up and I went down some rabbit holes and reading some other things and stuff. And I'm getting into, I don't know if you all learned about this in high school. Nikola Tesla.
I know about him,
yeah. Okay, he's an inventor. I started getting into these Tesla files that's on Amazon. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I emailed the New Yorker hotel where he stayed the last 10 years of his life, and he actually died in his room, to see if I could request his room, how much it would be for a weekend this summer. So I'd like to get in there and maybe do a little bit of paranormal investigation. I'm not going to tell him I'm going to do paranormal investigating, but I'm just want to rent his room out.
Just imagine. Room service. What are you doing? We're not gonna talk. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna leave you to that. Yeah, thanks. Have a nice day.
I'm gonna put "Do Not Disturb." It's electrifying in here or something. I don't know. But
put the little Tesla coil in the corner and just say, "Do not disturb." It's a little electrifying in here.
Yeah. It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie. Do you know that song? You probably it's
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah. But no, I've been getting into
so many memories.
Oh, I have so many memories of her too. I remember, let me tell you, I saved up my change like from lunch. My parents gave me money and had so much change after that to keep. I saved up my change back then to buy her tape. And like I remember counting out my change and everything. My parents took me to, I think it was Hills. I think the department store was called Hills or something at the time. And I pulled out all my change there to get the Debbie Gibson tape.
Good job.
Yeah, I loved it. I played it thoroughly and probably ended up destroying it because I played it so much. That and New Kids on the Block was my thing back then.
Yes. Like for me, I have both cassettes and records. Quiet Riot's my jam. You know, I have Quiet Riot. And then I do have more tapes, but these are the ones that I have in my office. Quiet Riot, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, the soundtrack.
Wow.
Scorpions.
Okay.
And then Slade.
I don't know Slade, I don't think.
Let's see. Yeah. And then there's more in the other room.
I might know if I hear some songs.
But yeah, and then I have a bunch of records.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty classic. Pretty classy in my office, you know.
Do you have any Whitney Houston? By chance? No? Yes?
I don't think so.
Oh, she was big time too for me. And Janet Jackson. Also, back in the day. But
like most of my stuff is rock, so
yeah.
Can't relate.
I don't think I listened to much rock back then. I did listen to Run DMC, tricky rap. But that's
what
about.
That? Like,
Smashing Pumpkins. Huge fan of Smashing Pumpkins. Listen to them all the time. Tom Petty. I don't know. But Aerosmith. Yeah, I listened to some bands like that. What am I talking about? Yeah, I did. Not so much anymore. My son's not big into music, so I don't know. We don't listen. I just always go back to these oldies that I grew up to because they don't make music how they used to. And I've been using, actually, speaking of music, related to the paranormal, I take a Bluetooth speaker with me. I play music every haunted location I go to and jam it out and in the hallways and everything, and then try to see if it stirs up any kind of paranormal. Like I do EVP work mostly, so I play music for a while, relax, chill out, and then I start doing EVP sessions. And I know that there are some people now are starting to use actual instruments, going in and playing their guitar and going down through the hallways and things. So I think that's interesting. I like to see if any evidence comes out of all this eventually, because I think music's universal. And I think even if it's a time era of like the 1800s, yes, I always try to find something that's in that time era. But I still play some modern day music too through the hallways there, because I think a lot of people can relate. And you don't know. Sometimes, yeah, I connect with the location, but some people might have died in that place 15 years ago. It's not always 1800.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. I jam it out. I dance too. I almost thought about bringing roller skates and be a roller girl down some hallways playing music.
Bet. Like, I have roller skates. I just need to get new ones because you're like from 2 years ago. But like just imagine just going down a hallway with like a boombox or something, playing random music.
Mm-hmm.
Waverly. Like, oh, yeah.
Go down through Waverly. I'd like to do it at Trans Allegheny. Oh my gosh, that place is magnificent. And roller skate down through that with the jam box going and just have a great time through there and just see what happens.
Honestly,
I've never talked about that.
Honestly, I'm game for it. Like, if we ever meet up, we need to get roller skates and just go.
Roller girl paranormal or something. Roller girl, I don't know. Roller derby. I used to want to do roller derby. My married legal name, I'm not married, but it's Stakely. So back in the day, when I wanted to be a roller derby girl, I was going to be called Stake, and my last name is Stake. So I was going to be Stake of Death.
Love that.
My roller derby girl name. So we never had a team here locally, so I couldn't do it.
I don't even know what I'd be called. Like, I'll probably just go with my softball name, if anything. So I'd be like, hey. And it would be like, people would judge me for my name. Like, I already know it. Like, just imagine. And here comes the blue fire truck. Hey, guys. What? I'm a fire truck, guys. Like, wee woo.
Oh, sirens. Oh my goodness, that's
We're
funny.
just not going to explain that nickname. That's another story for another time, you know. The thing is, it's the stupidest thing. Like, the stupidest way to get that nickname, too. Like, literally just joking around. Next thing you know, something happened. They were like, oh yeah, now you're the blue fire truck. And I made, like, this whole storyline to it, too. Like, it's great. It's great.
That's funny. I had a nickname in high school, but this story will be for another time, but I'll just tell you the name, Goober. So
love that.
But I can't tell the story right now. But I will. Maybe eventually, Maddie, I'll message it to you and tell you why I was called Goober. It's nothing bad. I don't know if I should repeat the story here.
All right. So, shall we actually begin the questioning?
I think so.
Honestly, like, we're just, like, talking.
Fun. Yeah.
Like, it's already almost been an hour. Like, actually, no.
Almost 30 minutes.
At 3:30. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, either way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was your first paranormal experience, and how old were you when you had it?
Oh my goodness, I grew up in a haunted house, and I would say my first paranormal experience, I didn't know it was paranormal, I was probably between 4 and 5 years old, and it's a haunted house that I grew up in till we were in middle school. My brother, I say we, because my brother, we're 16 months apart, so we were super close. And, you know, it was just things in the home that I seen there, and there was just really odd behavior going on. Also, I slept walk when I was a young kid. Only time I ever did sleepwalking was in this house. I remember even going to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician was telling him, don't wake me up during it. And I would sleepwalk and turn on all the lights on in the house. And then my dad would go behind me and turn the lights off, and just try to redirect me back to the bedroom before I'd wake up. But, you know, I would say just seeing somebody in my home as a young child and not knowing who that person was my first paranormal experience. And then my parents denied everything that happened, but that's one of the reasons why we ended up moving, and that's why they built a home. And then it followed us to the new house. I wasn't aware of it. My parents called my pastor and our assistant pastor. They came down while we weren't home, my brother and myself, and they blessed the home or anointed the doors and windows, and then we didn't have any problems since. And then when I was a senior in high school, my dad finally came about and told my brother and me the things that we saw as kids and stuff. It was true. So kind of grew up in it, and then it went away, and then but I've always been interested in it. And back in the mid-90s, my friends, I mean, we would go investigate before this stuff was even on TV, and like we would strip cords and things and hook it. I don't know how we didn't volt ourselves, Maddie. Talk about electrifying. But we would hook up these wires and things to my friend Josh's Jeep and run these long cords into the house. And we had big, huge RCA cameras that we'd have on our shoulders. Like, I don't even know how we film. We got film. We do. I have some investigations on VHS. And so, you know, I was always intrigued by it. It's always been around. So it's, I don't know, it's just been part of my life almost my whole entire life, really.
Like, honestly, if I ever had to use like one of those big cameras, I'd probably fall and I'd break it.
Oh, they were so heavy. And I still have one. It's down in my basement. I probably should just bring that out and use it as a prop behind me.
Honestly, bet.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I don't know how we got those suckers, and the eye to look through it, that has this big, huge rubber like that sticks out you can't. Your eye is probably about a good 3 to 4 inches away from the actual lens, and like I don't know how you had to keep your other eye closed to actually see through there. So, you know, it was crazy. I don't know how we did it, but we did. And it was good times. And I had some really crazy experiences. I need to pull those I keep saying this, VHS tapes out and have my brother convert them over to DVD and go back through there. Because I'm sure now, after I've investigated for so long, there's probably some crazy EVPs on there too. So I wasn't into EVP work back then. I just wanted to see something, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't even think I knew EVP really existed back then. Mm-hmm. 1993, 94, 95. I wasn't even driving yet. I was your age, Maddie, back then. So I wasn't even driving.
But, no, like, I like how you're like, you know what? I kind of go look at those tapes again. I'm just like, I could have something from yesterday, and I'll still be like, oh, that's cringy.
Yeah.
Like, I'll look at a picture, and I'll be like, no.
I'll tell you, one of the craziest ones back then, there's this farmhouse that we went to, and it was on County Road 1. And it was abandoned and had a slave house behind it. And upstairs, there was a light that would come on. I've seen the light come on. And in that home. So we all decided to go out there, and the light wasn't on when we were there. And then there was no electricity. So there was no electricity in the place. So we start running everything in, and then the farmhouse was huge, and it had this staircase that went up to a flat landing, and then it went up to the second floor. We were all there on that flat landing part, and we hear the front door of the house actually, and it had a big wraparound porch. This is caught on camera. I need to get this stuff out. We hear the front door open. You can't see it, but it's right there in front of the foyer there. You had to walk through the foyer a little bit and then go up the steps, so you couldn't see the front, but you hear the front door open, but actually now it's somebody going out the front door. We're all there. And then you can hear this person walk around the whole house there, that walk around and then come back in through the kitchen. And like, we were like, you go do it. You go look. So we finally go look, and there was nobody there. You hear the front door open, walk, come back. You hear the kitchen door open and shut, and nothing. It was crazy. Then that was the same house that we went down into the basement, which was not really a basement. It was like a dirt. It was not a crawl space. It was I'm 5'9", so I'm pretty tall. So it was probably, I had to crouch down a little bit in it. So it was probably like 5'6", 5'7" or something. The basement, it was all dirt. Well, I thought my brother was behind me, and I felt like plain as day, like somebody put their hand on my shoulder, and I thought it was my brother, so I turned around to help him, and there was nobody there, and I was like, I'm out, see you later, and I was like, bye, left him all down there, and I went back upstairs and went out to the Jeep and waited. That like really freaked me out, because it felt so real, and the pressure So I think that's probably the first paranormal experience I had of something actually like touching me and leaving a mark where I remember, for a long time. So now I don't like to be touched. That's one of the things I don't like. So I don't, very rare to ask anything to touch me. So yeah, I don't like that, but it was so real. And I really thought, I was like, my brother needed help. And I turned around and I thought he was behind me and he was never even in the basement. So it was creepy.
Like, let's see. So I can't remember like what road it is. It's like, I don't even know. It's like 7 blocks away from our house. And there's like this old abandoned barn. It's really nice. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. But like there used to be a shed behind it before one of the storms came and like knocked it down. But there was a homeless guy sleeping in the shed, so we were like, no. Like, once we saw the guy, we ran. We were like, no.
We thought of maybe homeless, but this one's way out in the country. It's not close. It's county road to, like, not close to gas stations, grocery stores, nothing. And then we went through the whole house and everything, searching and looking, and it was pretty abandoned. It still had a good structure to it, but the walls and everything was kind of falling down, like the paint was peeling off, and it smelled like mildew and things, and we couldn't find anybody in the house at that time. And then it sat off of, says County Road 2, and you could see the house from the road, but it probably sat a good football field back off the road. So it was a pretty spooky place. It's all torn down now. That house doesn't exist, and the barn doesn't exist, and then the slave house that was behind it was torn down too. But it was very intriguing because it sat so far off the road, and it was so dark and isolated. So when that light came on in that top, it was a top bedroom. When that light came on, it kind of illuminated that whole side of the field that house. So, I mean, it would bring your attention. And I think that there's actually some articles, I don't know, I have to look that back up, that talked about this home and how that light would come on. There was no electricity to it at all. There's no candles in there. There's not, it was a light, like somebody turned on a bedroom light. And so, yeah, it was very eerie and spooky. And maybe I should do some research now that I'm older. Maybe go back out there just to where it sat and take pictures of it, or do EVP sessions out there, see if it's the land. But, yeah, it was creepy. No homeless. Well, I mean, not that we could find when we were there. We went twice. Second time, nothing major. I don't think anything happened the second time. I can't remember. I'd have to ask my brother. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, like the barn that we went to, it was like right off the road, so like anyone could like hop down. Mm-hmm. But like there was like a barbed wire fence, like where the road was. But like where we went like behind the fence. And,
I worry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. That's scary because I see a lot of these urban people go into these places and investigating, and that's awesome that they do it because some of these buildings and stuff are absolutely beautiful. But I worry. I don't know if it's because I'm older and things now, but I seriously worry. You don't know who's in these buildings. You don't know if they packing guns. They want to rob you. Have knives. Yeah. You don't know. So like especially at nighttime. So all these urban risk takers, they're kind of like superheroes, or I don't know what they are. I'm just like, I applaud them when they go to these places because I don't think I can do it. Now that I'm older, maybe when I was younger, and I don't know. A lot of things change when you get older, Maddie. Okay.
All right. Like
be prepared. Like you're not such a risk taker anymore. And so, I used to date a guy. I had a Ducati motorcycle, and we would go down the Blue Ridge Mountain Parkway going 100 miles an hour on these motorcycles. And I'm like 20, 21 years old. And I think I was 21. I'm like, now I would sit there and think, what the heck was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? I don't know. Like, I would never do that now. And I probably wouldn't even get on a motorcycle now because I worry about other people. I don't necessarily worry about myself or who I'm riding with. I worry about other people not seeing me. So things change about it when you get older.
All right. Yeah. Like, honestly, the people who, like, do urban exploration, like, as a hobby and, like, do it regularly, like, when I did the barn, like, it was, like, daylight, you know? So, there was still daylight outside. That's when we just checked it out. Like, we were just like, okay, let's look for dangers for when we come back later in the evening. So we stayed away from the shed, of course. And then one of my friends were like, do you think he's still there? I'm like, I don't know. So they were like, go check it out. I'm like, oh my God. So I checked it out. No one was in there. So I was like, oh my God, guys, he's not there. They were like, Like, it was fun.
What have we learned off Friday the 13th movies? Don't go to barns. Don't go to cabins that are abandoned.
Especially ones called Crystal Lake.
I did an investigation this past fall. They said, oh, it's in Hazard, Kentucky. Yeah. Maddie, where do you live?
Iowa.
Iowa, okay. Hazard, Kentucky. Listen, Hazard, Kentucky is a different breed of people. And I was like, they're like, well, it's not that far off the main highway. They lied to me. I'm telling you, we went to this place that was in a holler and a holler and a holler. And then one of the girls, I love her, her name's Chelsea Ryan. She has Black Fox Paranormal. We've teamed up some and done some investigations. So she got lost coming to this place. And she said she rolled up to this last house on the left. No joke. That's what she said. And these people greeted her with guns and everything. Like, yeah. So we get up to this cabin and I'm like, I said, where are you taking? Are you killing me? That's what I asked. I was teamed up with Appalachian Unknown too, Brent. I said, you brought me out here to kill me. Like, there's no cell phone signal. There's nothing. But I'll tell you this. I said, if someplace, Maddie, I've just done this for a very long time. I always say, if a place is truly haunted, I'll get my first EVP within the first 5 to 10 minutes being there. So I said, well, let's see if this place is haunted. So I start pulling out all my equipment, getting set up, and I audio record everything. I have like 5-6 recorders with me all the time. And so I just usually, when I start pulling my equipment out, I turn on an audio recorder, and then I put my earbuds in, and I said, who is she? I said, oh, and it was a woman's voice. I'm the only woman there. And I hear, who is she? I said, did you all hear that? Did you all hear that? And they're like, no. And then he turned his Ovilus on, and it said, who, I think it was Ovilus or it was Ghostbox, one of those things. I don't know what he had on his camera. But it said, who is she? Said it there on his, I think it was his Ghostbox. I don't know. It's some new little gadget thing that, it might have been an Ovilus. Who is she? I can't remember. But I have that EVP up on my SoundCloud. I put all my EVPs up on SoundCloud. So, yeah, and that place is super haunted. And we're going to go back to it this spring when it's a little bit warmer out. So, yeah, it looks like it has a family graveyard there. It was really spooky. There's Indian burial mounds close by, but it's in a holler of a holler of a holler. Like, there's no way I'd stay up there by myself. No way. Even in a cabin.
Once you said Indian burial grounds, I'm like, Pet Cemetery?
Oh no. It's kind of like that. It has caves up in there too. That's right there on the property. Like, you know, and I wasn't going into a cave. No way. And you don't know.
Dr. Bell Witch. No.
You don't know what's in there. Like animals even. Like I'm scared of the woods. All these we talked about urban explorers, all these Bigfooters that go out there and squatch and all that. Like, I'm really scared of the woods. And there's a thing on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's actually people that hide out in the woods and kidnap you. And they are doing all these investigations, and they kidnap people, and I can't remember the guy's name. If I find out, I'll send you the link to it, to his YouTube page. But it's pretty popular, and so you just never know. You just never know what's out in the woods, and I'm not taking that risk anymore.
Yeah.
So there's abandoned houses and the woods. Stay away.
Especially if there's the mass murderer who supposedly drowned. Mm-hmm. And then his mother was like, come on, Jason.
Nothing greater than a mother's love.
Mm-hmm.
And if it has a lake, stay away from it too. Like, it looked like Friday the 13th. It really did. It looked like
a fog.
Oh God! If fog came in that night, it did. Fog came in that night. It settled over.
No thanks.
It settled over the graves, the tombstones. Yeah, it was perfect setup for a slasher movie.
And that's when I say, haha, no thank you, I'm going home.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to get home from that spot. Like, I had no cell phone. Like, GPS wasn't working. Nothing was working. Like, emergency, maybe. I don't know if I could have. Can you dial? I think I could have dialed 911, but yeah. I have no idea how to get back up in there either. So, but the guy that owns the property, it's his family. Mm-hmm. And he writes a pretty, it's a pretty big blog and things. So he came out and investigated with us, and he wrote about how impressed he was with everything and the evidence that we got right there on the spot. So yeah, it was very interesting. I had something thrown at me, and it didn't fall from a tree, because if it fell from a tree, it would have came straight down. This hit me like where you Charlie horse somebody. It was an acorn. You can hear it. Like, you can hear it hit me and hit the ground, and it hit me, and it wasn't quite caught on camera. I hardly ever catch anything on camera like that, but it was like where you would Charlie horse somebody. So it came in from the side, and I don't know, that was interesting. So I hear Squatch throws things at people, right? I think so. I don't know.
Just imagine, just like Sasquatch just sitting there like, ew, people.
Like,
just like
like a monkey throwing poop. Get away.
Sasquatch is just like, ew, I'm not that unsanitary. I use acorns. Calm down. Jeez. With this whole COVID thing coming on and people coming into the woods, I'm going to use acorns. Hell no.
Acorns and walnuts. That's what he's going to.
Walnuts would be a better weapon for sure.
I'll tell you this too, what we did there, which was kind of interesting with me, because I think it was like the second time I ever done it. The experiment, the Estes method, where they cover your face and stuff. I was doing Ghost Box. Well, there was a big bench, and like everybody was out away. I don't know how far away they were at the time, but they put a K2 meter close to me, like probably like a foot and a half or so away from me. And they said that I was answering stuff that they were asking, and I couldn't hear them or anything, but I felt something come so close to me. I thought somebody was sitting next to me. It freaked me out so bad. I was like, if somebody sitting next to me, just touch my hand. And I just put my hand straight out and everything. And they were saying that the K2 meter was going off, and then nobody would touch my hand. And I was like, somebody is next to me. It freaked me out. I had to take the goggles and stuff off, and nobody was there. But they said the K2 meter was up all the way to red. So, that kind of freaked me out. And then they got it on audio. I didn't get it on my recorder. Indian drums playing and things. But there was only one other house out there. So, I don't know if they would be playing that at like 2 a.m. or so. But, Brent got that actually on camera, hearing the drums. You could hear the drums on camera. I didn't get it on my audio recorder, but so yeah, it was freaky. It was freaky. But I don't know. The whole place is haunted, I say.
Huh.
And then you got it's like the movie Wrong Turn.
Oh my God.
That's what it's like. It's a wrong turn. Like, you don't know. It's like caveman, half cave, it's like, I don't know. It was scary.
Okay. Me looking through the comments.
Well, I have all my EVPs if anybody wants to go. It's soundcloud.com/it's Frick, FRICK and AND Frack, and it's FRACK Paranormal. Frick and Frack Paranormal. Just did a graveyard last week with my friends from Prism, Ohio. Vanetta Shope, and then we were just wanting to get out real quick and do something because we were all itching to get out and investigate. So she messaged me on Facebook. She's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Cleaning house." She goes, "You want to go to a graveyard?" I said, "Really?" And then it took me an hour to get to the graveyard.
No, you're just like, is that really a question?
Yeah, I was like, clean house, graveyard. Clean house, graveyard. What's more being responsible? Graveyard. Let's go.
Yeah, graveyard. You know?
Then I went out there. It's an hour away. It took me an hour to get there. And then I'm telling you, I got more scared being there. It was like one of those wrong turn places. And I did a quick, 2-minute live video on Instagram when I first got there. So I get back home that night. I got EVPs. There's one EVP. We all just get there. We're walking through there. It says watching and walking. Like you can hear. It's a man's voice, and it's the same man's voice that's actually in the EVP I caught on that live feed. And I'm actually going to pull that video this week and pull that audio off of there so you can hear it, so I can hear what it's saying. But it's the same. There's an EVP there, and that's the first 5 minutes I was there at that graveyard. So if it's truly haunted, I'll get something. And then when I turned on my audio recorder and we started walking through the graveyard to find this lady's grave. It says watching and walking. So they were watching us walk. That was weird too. So I don't know, that place, we're going to go back when it gets a little bit warmer in May or so. We're even thinking about, because I think Vanetta knows the people that own that, see if we can put a tent up and actually stay there all night. See what happens. See what happens. So put cameras out, but it's in no man's land. Like, you won't have to worry about anybody bothering you, really. I don't think. It's kind of close to a road, so you don't have to worry about the cars that much because it's not a road that's traveled often. So, but it's her name is Lavina Wall is who we were investigating, and actually she was murdered at a dentist office that's in Huntington, West Virginia. That dentist office was on Dead Files. So that's who we were. It's like a local legend or local folklore story that's true too. Parts of it's true. But so we decided to go and just investigate that grave out there because Lavina knew where it was at, or Lavina. Lavina is buried there. Vanetta. That's what kind of together. She knew where it was at, and she knows Dr. Grimes that is the dentist. So she got more information, and we went out there. And so we go out there. I don't know. We go out there, and we were out there for only probably about 2 hours or so, but we got a lot of things, and that's the newest EVPs that I have up on my SoundCloud.
Nice. All right. So, So would you like to shout out your social medias or anything?
Oh, yeah. So my show is What the Frick Live, WTFRick Live. It's on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I just switched to a new network. It's called the Manifest Network, that is started up by Shane Pittman from the Hoser Files and James McDaniel, that's from Haunted Live on Channel. And he does some HGTV work with Chad and Doug from the Eerie Voice. So Chad and Doug, we all came from Paranormal Warehouse. So they started up this new network about 2 months ago. So we're building that up. So if you haven't joined, please, it's on Facebook.com/The Manifest Network. Please go over there and follow the page. I have a guest, Jessie Shezbotar, that's coming on this Friday night, and I'm really interested with her. If you don't know about her, I'm going to post some links on some of my pages this week, but she was born into the Illuminati and into the Luciferian cults. So she has a testimony and a half to talk about. Also interested in talking to her about this new Nike Satan shoe that's coming out, that they're actually put human blood in the sole of the shoe. I can't remember the rapper. But yeah, so next Friday is going to be kind of a heavy topic. But then I have Flat Earth Guy coming on after that, David Weiss, the following week. But the Manifest Network is the main network that What the Frick Live is on. And then also, if you want to hear any of my EVPs, that's Frick and Frack Paranormal on SoundCloud. So soundcloud.com/Frick and Frack Paranormal. Also, I'm the founder of the Error 404 Paranormal Network. We have 8 teams nationwide, and you can find Error 404 Paranormal on Facebook, and just type that in and that should come up. So it's Hello from the Other Side, Error 404. So have a really great group of people. Some directors people might know. I have Bill Davis as a director in Florida. I have Valerie Wright, that's a director in New Mexico. And I have Kimberly Hockenheimer she has one team in Ohio. She's getting ready to start her second team in Ohio this summer. So, yeah, I have really good people. Love all my team members, and we have meetings monthly. So great group of people. And thank you, Maddie, so much for having me on as a guest.
Yeah, no problem.
It's fun.
So I'm starting to see the Shadow Man right in the corner telling me that our time is almost over. So I'd really like to thank you for coming on, chatting with me and my listeners here on Spoopy Talk. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a good softball season, and I really appreciate it. And you need to be a guest on my show soon, too. Love to have you on.
I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So now, yeah, no problem. So now for all my listeners out there, I'd like to say thank you for being with me tonight. So I will be taking a break from Sweet Talk for a few months as softball season is getting ready to start. I will be playing for 3 teams, with one of them being my high school team for the first time in May. So wish me luck. Make sure if you're not following me, give me a follow at Madison Paranormal Investigation on Facebook and Maddie_Paranormal_Investigation on Instagram. So for tonight, peace, love, and happiness, and most of all, stay spoopy, everyone.